In this tutorial, we will learn how to set up AWS CloudWatch alarms to receive a Slack notification whenever there is an error in AWS Lambda execution. Many other types of alarms can be set in CloudWatch using the available metrics for most of the AWS resources. This same process can be used to send a Slack notification from any of those alarms. We will start by creating a simple Lambda function which will throw an error when invoked. Then we will create a CloudWatch alarm which will be configured to send SNS notification when that Lambda fails. We will then create a Slack notifier Lambda function which will subscribe to the same SNS topic, and when invoked will send notification to a Slack channel. Let's get started. Go to Lambda services in AWS console and click on create function. Select author from scratch, and we can call this function test-function. For the runtime, let's select Python 3.6. Choose or create an execution role. We will leave it at create a new role with basic Lambda permission. That should do it for us. Now click on create function. Once the function is created, scroll all the way down and edit the lambda function.py file. This function should basically have a if condition where if the event input has error, it will raise an exception and lambda function execution will fail. On the top right corner of the page, click on the drop down for select a test event and configure test events. On create new event, we can name it, just call it 1 for now, and add a error field. And we can just write something like this is an error here and click on create. Save the function and run the test. You should see now this Lambda function is responding with an error due to that exception. Next, let's go ahead and create a CloudWatch alarm to trigger when this Lambda execution results in an error. So go to CloudWatch console in AWS. Click on alarms on the left side panel. Click on create alarm. Select metrics, and here you want to select the Lambda metrics and select by function name. And you can search, or in our case it's right there, so just select the test function, and we want to select the one with errors as the metrics name, and then click select metrics. On the statistics, let's change that to sum. And period, we can keep that as 1 minute for now. And since we are testing, keeping at minimum and changing it back to more reasonable number later would be better. And leave everything else the same, but keep that threshold to 0. Click on next. Then we will select a SNS topic to send the notification to. In our case, we'll create a new one for now. We can leave the name as default. And also we will add a email endpoint to send email notification to. Click on create topic. You can open the SNS topic that just created. We'll need it later. So click on next now. And name the alarm something reasonable. We will call it test function lambda error. Just click on next. Click on create alarm. The SNS topic is waiting for you to confirm the subscription. So go to your email and then click on the provided link. Once confirmed, let's go back to the earlier created Lambda function and click on test few times to cause failures so that it would trigger the CloudWatch alarm. You need to wait for about 1 minute, the period that you set for the CloudWatch alarm. Once the CloudWatch alarm status changes from insufficient to alarm, you will receive an email with failure alert. That's good, but we wanted to receive a Slack notification instead. Let's get on to that now. Go to the administration from drop down in your Slack workspace. Click on Manage Apps. Search for incoming webhook in app directory. Click on Add to Slack. Choose a Slack channel to post messages to. Let's create a new one. We'll call it CloudWatch Alerts. Click on Create. Now click on Add Incoming Webhooks Integration. So this should give you a webhook URL. Save it. Also make sure you keep it secret because it contains all the required credentials to authenticate for posting into your Slack channel. You can also run a curl command quickly through a CLI to test it, but we will go ahead and create a Lambda function to do that for us. Similar to before, click on Create Function, author from scratch. We can name it Slack Notifier. We'll keep the runtime to be Python 3.6. And the execution role, let's leave it as create a new role. Click on Create Function. Scroll to the source code. First, we'll define the webhook URL. Copy and paste it. And then create a dictionary for Slack data. We'll add a channel field. This would be the channel we just created in Slack, CloudWatch Alerts. Next, we will add a text, and we'll just put, this is a simple test here. And I'm missing a comma on that dictionary in this video, so please add that. Next, we will write a request to send a post request to the webhook URL with the Slack data, and the headers need to be set as content type application JSON. That should give us a response, and we will just return that response as status code and then the body from this Lambda. Save the function and run a test. You can leave it as it is, just name it something. Click on Create and just click on Test again. Oops, there's an error. Looks like a syntax error. So let's go ahead and fix it. We're missing a comma on that dictionary. Save it. And then run a test again. So it succeeded, and we got 200 status code with OK on our body. So that means we must have received a Slack notification from our Lambda function. So far, we have a CloudWatch alarm that is sending notification to SNS, and we have a Lambda function which, when invoked, send messages to Slack channels. So let's tie them together. So in the same Slack notifier Lambda that we just created, go to the top of the page and then click on Add Trigger. Search for SNS. Select the SNS topic we created from the CloudWatch alarm and keep the trigger enabled and click on Add. So now when the SNS notification is sent, this will trigger the Lambda function, and this Lambda function is responsible for sending notifications to the Slack channel. Great, but we are still missing a proper formatting in our Slack notification. We are just returning a simple text. Before adding some formatting logic to the Slack notifier function, we need to know what the payload is going to look like when it hits the Lambda function. So here, if you notice, we have this SNS topic subscribed to email and a Lambda function. So let's go ahead and add one more subscription for email-json protocol. So what that will do is give us a JSON formatted email once the notification is hit. So by that, we can see exactly how our JSON body is going to look like when it hits the Lambda function. So let's go ahead and copy this notification in JSON format and then set it up as a test payload for the Lambda function before we write the logic. So for the event template, select SNS. So that will give you the blanket structure for SNS notification. So at top level, we have records, and inside that we have SNS, and the section we are mainly concerned about is the message field. But since we copied the whole block of notification, let's go ahead and replace that here. Now we have a properly formatted SNS payload that we can use to format our Slack notification. I already have the code for formatting SNS payload written down, so I'll go ahead and paste it in this video. And I'll also have a link for the source code down in the description, so feel free to grab it from there. You have to replace the webhook URL and the Slack channel once you paste the code. Other than that, everything else could stay the way it is. No changes required. You can definitely go ahead and format your own way based on whatever fields you want to return, but this should be enough for us now. So basically, once the Lambda gets executed, we take the record from the SNS event, and then we use the CloudWatch alarm parser class that I pasted to use to format the Slack message, and then send that via the Slack request. Let's go ahead and save it and then click on test. And now we can see a much better formatted CloudWatch notification in our Slack channel. So that was just the test payload. So if you want to test the actual Lambda function error and make sure you get a proper Slack notification on that, feel free to go back to our test function and then click on test to generate few errors, and you should notice the Slack notification come up. So that's it. We have a properly formatted Slack notification coming in whenever there's an error in a Lambda function. To make this source code a little bit better, you can change the Slack channel and webhook URL to be passed as environment variables to the Lambda function. I will leave that for you to explore. Do let me know if you run into any issues or have any questions in